There may also be some concerns about vending business growing, that it will cause parking and traffic issues as well. We pray that the business does grow to that point, that we will need to relocate. I'll close the body shop and go into the taco business. Something we have been mindful as of as well. At that point, we will consider finding a location for the growing continued business. But I do not foresee that to be an issue at the beginning. I have mentioned this is a form of supplement to the business that will allow customers to continue to eat local. This will also give an opportunity to my son Ernesto and Jose Bueno, who are experienced economical challenges themselves, as they will be working the food truck. It will help Ernesto finance his studies in business that will also give him hands-on experience while learning good business ethics and customer relations. As well as my son Jose, a single father whose employer has cut his work week from 5 days to 3 days a week. My son Jose is in the RV industry, and as you may know already, and as you may have already heard, multiple plants have been closed, multiple plants laying off hundreds of people in the recent month, I think it's been. I'm teaching my family not to fall victims of malicious acts of today's youth and be veered in a positive direction in life. I would also like to talk about the hours and days of operation. I originally came up with the idea, and it was just an idea, of Thursday and Friday from 3 to 8 p.m. and some hours on Saturday. An idea which had not had enough thought put into. After thinking it through, I have come to realize that 5 hours a day may not give us enough time to prepare, since everything will be cooked as ordered, and enough time to even generate customers. This is an experiment, and I plead to you to give us the opportunity for a living chance and consider my proposal hours and grant us the reasonable opportunity to survive. As stated on the proposal, the hours will be 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Thursday and Friday, so that we can serve the lunch and dinner customers. More than likely a break in between. You know, there's I'm saying that from 10 to 2 it might be the busiest, and, you know, people take a break. They don't need between 2 and 4. Most restaurants you go to, they're dead. You know, so there'll be a break in between. And then we'll resume 4 to 8. Okay, where was I? I would like some time on Saturday and Sundays, but because I do not see much activity on these days, which I really don't, I just wanted to leave it open as an option. I am willing to do away with them if it strengthens the Thursday and Friday opportunity hours. Thank you for your time. I would highly appreciate your consideration.
Mr. Bueno, thank you for putting this together.
You're welcome.
Very informative and very, very helpful.
Thank you.
Very appreciated. Questions for Mr. Bueno?
You state you haven't had a customer in the past 5 to 6 weeks. Is that for the body shop
For
or
the
your auto
body shop.
sales? The body shop.
For the auto sales is
Gone.
not necessarily,
Okay.
but ever since COVID we were just getting started to begin with.
Okay.
I had just gotten my dealer license from the state, and I was excited because it cost us a lot, and it took a lot of hard work and determination, and we finally got it, and then COVID hit.
How long have you been in business
I've been in business in Mishawaka for almost 6 years.
in that location?
Yes.
I have to say that I am concerned. The staff has recommends approval for this based upon the 3 to 8 p.m. Times. It concerns me that you are proposing at this particular moment to change those hours of operation.
Yeah, when I originally spoke to Derek, actually, he came out, it was just an idea, okay?
Okay.
Like say, hey, you know what, I want to buy that car, man. You know, I might buy it soon, I might buy it later, I might, you know, it was just an idea, okay? Now it's a plan, now it's a proposal.
And did you propose the extended hours ahead of tonight's meeting? Or is this the
Yeah.
first time this has
No,
been proposed?
No, I actually did.
It was with the petition. Was
Pardon?
The first time I saw those extended hours is when he filed the petition.
Okay, but the staff recommends approval not based on the extended hours, but
Correct.
based on
Correct.
those hours as stated here.
Correct. When we met and spoke 4 years ago on it, he approached the city and said, would you support a food truck, you know, at my location? And we said, we might, but it depends on the hours. So the hours, we feel that are more appropriate, you know, 10-hour days are more appropriate for a brick and mortar store, a location for a restaurant, not necessarily a secondary food truck to a primary business on a property. So we were looking, and we'd be willing, like in our recommendations, we specifically limited hours, and that was just reflecting what was previously stated. So we had said Thursday through Friday from 3 to 8 with limited hours on Saturday. We would provide some flexibility in that. What we would say, if we want to change the conditions, we could say that dinner or lunch on any given single day and no more than 3 days a week and 15 hours a week. You know, just to allow some more flexibility in that. You know, we think to be open and for more of like a whole business day for a food truck for an 8 to 10 hour period, like I said, is more appropriate for a brick and mortar store. It's more appropriate for a main source of income and a main restaurant at a different location.
Okay. Now, as you're in your presentation, are you, correct me if I'm wrong, you have, you're proposing that you're open from 8 to when?
8 to, what was it?
No,
10 to
10,
8.
10 to 8.
10, 8.
Oh, 10 to 8.
Okay, but wasn't there a break in there that you,
Well, there is because the peak hours are 10 to 1 or 2 in any restaurant.
okay,
As well as dinner hours are from 4 to 6 in any restaurant.
Okay,
In
sure.
between, you go to any restaurant, it's dead.
I understand it. And so what you're really proposing at this point in time is that for 3 days a week, or 2 days a week,
I can live with 2 days a week.
2 days
At-
a week,
At 10 to.
you have a full-service restaurant at that particular
I have a
location.
A vending vehicle, a vending truck. Is what we're gonna put there in that area.
Okay, a
full-
vending truck and, you know, it's a form of a restaurant
Okay.
without seating, obviously.
Food service.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it is a to-go. It's a to-go. We won't have
Okay.
any seating.
Will you take the truck off premises for other uses?
There, we have plans to move it around the St. Joseph County area. We haven't gotten that far yet, but it's an experiment. This is a starting point.
If
So-
you find you're really successful in these 2 days, are you gonna wanna come back and say, hey, can I do this the whole week? I mean, are we
No.
limiting you too much by not having a full business plan right now?
No, I don't think I want to, I don't believe, if it became so successful, I would honestly close the shop and go into the taco business. Yeah, because our business in the body shop industry, is we've just been surviving the past 5 to 6 years. We've never strived.
I think my concern is, you know, with you limiting yourself pretty, a tight window of operation right now, that if you are successful, you kind of backed yourself in a corner.
Well, should I leave that open for an option, or is that
So,
what you're
so
suggesting?
what are we looking to change this to? What is more flexible that you summarized that would be a little more flexible?
I'm not so sure it serves them or you, us or you, by limiting your hours. You know, if you're open at 10 in the morning and there's 3 people there, if you're open at 3 in the afternoon and there's 5 people there, I don't see where limiting the hours is gonna serve either of us. Maybe I'm missing something.
Like I said, what we were looking at is we just didn't want it, depending on the success, is we were looking at it not being open for a 10-hour period during a day, because we felt, like I said, that's not a temporary use or secondary use. That's more of a main use for property. So you're considering, basically, it would be 2 primary uses for that property, is the way we were looking at it.
I have plenty of space there to do it, and I have plenty of parking. There, I have a lot of dead space there. In fact, I'm looking to expand even something else in the future that we spoke about as well, which is the main goal.
May redress parking, not parking so much as the flow. If you do get busy and you have, I'm looking at the parking lot. So is being busy going to prohibit a good flow in the parking lot? And
because-
cause problems on entrance and exit?
No, because like I said, we've created a system that will be coming in out of the, there's like a U entrance and exit there. And I could do it either way.
Okay.
I could do it either way. I could either come in from the west or I can come in, have them come from the east. Right now, the plan is for them to come in from the east, northeast off of Jefferson, direct themselves to the, and it's not 4 parking spaces, there's actually 6 parking spaces there. My son helped me with this, Ernesto, and he's the one that did that. I missed that, but there's actually 6 parking spaces from the building to Jefferson, which are gonna be the designated parking areas for the vending truck itself. I myself, in the body shop, have, my designated parking spaces in the front, of the, yes, that is correct. Well, at least half of the building, the east half of the building. There's 4 additional parking spaces. And like I said, we don't have so much business that I'm concerned about it. We have sometimes we don't even have customers coming in a day.
Right, and we're just trying to figure out the happy medium here to make sure that the staff's comfortable. When we get something and it says the staff recommends approval based on conditions, usually those conditions are what we want to stick with.
Okay.
So I guess as it's written here, it shall be limited to Thursday and Friday from 3 to 8 p.m. and limited hours less than 4 on Saturday.
That is the city's recommendation now.
Right, and are you okay with that as a minimum or not?
No, I'm
what would you
asking for, I expressed on what I read out,
To
what I
have
said.
10.
Because 5, after thinking it through, I don't believe that 5 is gonna give us the opportunity to do what we're aiming to do.
Okay, so are you comfortable with Thursday and Friday on your hours
I can live with that.
and then less than 4 hours on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't see us working on a Saturday, but you know what, if it calls for it, I wanna leave those open as an option. Even at 10 Thursday, 10 Friday, 10 Saturday, it's only 30 hours, which is considered part-time.
And do you think it's limiting enough to only do it the 2 days rather than, or do you still think there's a concern that he's there the whole day?
I still think there's a concern that there's there a whole day, because I think that's more of a primary structure that's, more of a, should be in a brick and mortar restaurant someplace else. Because, I mean, you look at more of like the Nelsons and the like, I mean, they're usually there just for a 4-hour period for lunch, something like that, I still think that's a long time, because if you set this up, you may be to approval to do this, you may be setting precedent, well, somebody will
Yes.
want to do that for other locations, right? And
Right.
that's what we didn't want to do. So
Right.
we're trying to limit, dinner or lunch, limit the hours, and that was the reason behind that.
Okay, so that makes sense, and to clarify that a little bit more, is it more limiting on the day versus the time during the day, so?
It's not necessarily, that's why, basically what I was doing in the conditions is I was just reflecting our prior discussion. I mean, it was previously, Thursday and Friday from 3 to 8 was proposed. So I think now, like, that's why we're saying we'd be willing to revise that condition and state more for like a dinner or lunch on a single day, not to exceed 3 days or 15 hours, like that kind of thing, because you're still kind of limiting the overall operations for the hours for the week, so you're not open for an extended period of time, for a 10-hour period of time, but it will still allow for operations for secondary source of income or for secondary use for that property.
Now, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna respond to that. Sure. So you're saying that 15 hours is what you're recommending?
A week.
Okay, so basically, it's what I'm saying, because from 10 to 8, there's a downtime, okay, which brings it down to 8 hours a day. 2 days is 16 hours. Anyways,
I think, my concern is you're gonna have an investment in this truck.
yes, I do.
Is 15 hours a week gonna provide you with a payback to make it profitable and worthwhile for you to do?
I believe so. I believe so. I already have, to begin with, I have a big, a lot of, I'm not only the owner of Peelos Body Shop. I was gonna bring you also a card. I've been in the, I'm also in the, radio broadcasting industry. Okay, I'm a former president of 93.5 FM Radio Sabor Latino in South Bend for, I've been a program director for the past 10 years. Okay, so I have a lot of, I have a very famous show within that radio station, and I have a lot of followers on Facebook that are already anticipating our opening.
Sure, and you'll have other uses for the truck as well. So I guess it boils down to this. Are you comfortable with saying that you can use 15 hours over 3 days?
15 hour,
So
well, see, that's the thing.
5 hour a day.
That's the thing, that's why I'm saying that, after thinking it through, I don't think the 5 hours, I can make that work, because we're cooking to order. You know, it's not gonna give us the time to do much, you know, generate customers, prepare. By the time we're getting going, it's time to close. So that's why I believe that, that's why I came up with the idea of, that's why I'm proposing that we do from 10, okay, let's say this, 10 to 2, a downtime from 2 to 4, 2 to 3, somewhere in the area, and then we'll pick up from 4 to 6, from 4 to 8.
Say that again.
10 to 2 more or less, give or take, depending on clientele. I'm not gonna shut doors on people online, but once it simmers down, it's gonna simmer down, I know it is. And another thing I wanna say is, you know, this is not my first rodeo in the food industry. I'm also, I have been in the vending industry before. Okay, so I know how this works, all right? And I know the peak times and the good times, you know, when are the good times, when are the busiest times, and when are the dead times? And that's why I'm anticipating that between 2 and 4 is gonna be a downtime.
Right, but it kind of works against what we want to do in setting a precedent for being open for lunch and dinner both days, because this is obviously an appeal, and we have to be very careful on how we vote. And so as written, Thursday and Friday, 3 o'clock to 8 p.m., and 4 hours or less on Saturday, that's not acceptable to you.
There's just not much traffic on Saturdays. I'm open on Saturdays. I don't see any traffic on Saturdays on Jefferson.
How about 6 hours on Thursday and 6 hours on Friday?
That's 12 hours.
Or something like that. I'm just looking at, find a way to get a happy medium. I mean, obviously,
I
you
understand.
want to get this going, you want to use it in your parking lot, you
No,
want
I
to have the
understand.
food truck to do other things, so we
No,
just
I-
want to get you started with something. But normally, we don't do these things.
No, well, I appreciate your consideration and taking the time to speak to me. But I just want to make sure that, you know, like he says, I've got a lot of money invested in this. I got to find a way to make it come back. But the main thing is to get into the profits. You know, if I'm going to have to close right when profits are coming to kick in, then it might cause a bit of a problem there.
Do you expect your dinner crowd to be busier than your lunch crowd?
More than likely. Yeah,
I mean,
especially on a Friday.
it would seem like if we gave you an extra hour, so 6 hours, so you can do your cleanup and things like that. So if you had 6 hours on Thursday, 6 hours on Friday, and then 6 hours on Saturday, and you had those 3,
Okay, so you're giving me the option of 3 days of 6 hours. Can I pick those 3 days?
well, right now, it's written as Thursday, Friday, and
Correct,
Saturday.
and that's why I was saying that it could allow some flexibility. That's why I was saying lunch or dinner, 3 days a week, regardless of what days, 15 hours. That's what I was coming back with.
Well, are you okay with adding an extra hour a day so we can wrap up?
Yeah.
To 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days at your, okay, so,
And those can be weekdays.
That's what I'm asking. Can I pick let's say I'm saying, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
right, so what we're looking at is 6 hours a day for 3 days. You get to pick the 3 days.
You got it. I can live with that.
That's fine.
Excellent.
Give it a shot, give it a
Any
shot.
other questions on that, Larry? Is that
I
comfortable for you?
don't have a question. I do feel uncomfortable with a lack of structure and a firmly proposed appeal. In other words, we are in the process of negotiating this appeal as opposed to having a structured appeal before us to approve. I don't know if it's out of the realm of possibility, but perhaps tabling the appeal and having it restructured or rewritten, I would feel more comfortable with that. But, you know, that's just me. That's just me.
We can, in a sense, add this as a condition to
You can add this as a condition,
And
yeah.
let me ask the executive director back there, Mr. Prince, does it make sense to put a 1 year on this? Or is that something we can do, or is that something that needs to come with this?
Sorry.
Ken Prince, Executive Director. I believe it would be appropriate to put a 1-year review on it. That's been the council's practice for what I would call these trial balloons that we have tried to accommodate people for. I think that would be appreciated, but I would ask the applicant that because they're going to have to refile and come back in a year to reassess it. The other thing I would reiterate is this is really staff, as Mr. Spear identified, trying to work with the applicant on something new, and we do have reservations on a food truck which doesn't have a public restroom, that doesn't have the grease trap, that's parked in a parking lot. There's many reasons why we have concerns regarding this. We are really just trying to work with the applicant in this case to try to work through those issues. So the more hours that you add to it, the more potential problems that exist. And we're really looking at this as a trial balloon. So literally, if we have trouble with this one, the next one that would come in, we could recommend denial based on what that experience is as part of this. So,
Understood, understood. So we can put a condition on here that we can change the condition to 6 hours a day, 3 days a week.
no more than 3 days a week, and then I would put a cap on the hours of operation in terms of how late in the evening they can run.
Okay, so,
And I would just respectfully ask
2 to
the
8.
applicant for what that time is. I don't know if it's 8 o'clock or what that would be.
what 6 hours are best for you, Mr. Bueno?
The reason I said 8 is because also by 8 o'clock, everything is settled. Everybody already chose they're gonna eat, they already ate, and it's done.
Okay, so 2 to 8 would be operating.
So, okay, we can live with that. And, yeah, you know what? I'm willing to, go with the 1 year, what did you call it, 1 year balloon?
Yep,
Yeah,
I think that makes
I'm willing to demonstrate.
Sure.
I'm willing to put myself to the test.
Thank you.
Okay, and demonstrate to you guys that, I do have a plan, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it as smooth as possible. It is not only in the city's benefit, but it's my benefit as well. And we do have public bathrooms, 2 of them,
thank you.
In your building.
yes.
You know,
One more question.
something Mr. Prince mentioned, I mean, a truck is self-contained to a certain degree. But how will you handle wastewater and grease disposal and some of those things?
It's equipped, it's equipped with all that. It's equipped for water, it's equipped for, it's got its own grease trap and stuff. And we're not doing any deep frying. Everything is a flat top.
What do you do with the grease, though? It's trapped and you have to put it
It's
somewhere.
it's a trap. Well, I would have to, I haven't made it that far to see, but that would be our next step to figure out. I still yet to go to the health department and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Bueno? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the chamber room or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-27? Is there anybody in the room or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-27? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. And is there any other points of discussion? We can clarify these points. And I just lost the notes that I put them down. But basically, we are saying operating hours from 2 to 8, 3 days a week.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. And the other condition is that this appeal, 22-27, will be for a 1 year duration.
Just a few comments from me, Mr. Chairperson. I don't mean to presume how Mr. Stilson plans on voting, but I'm kind of with Mr. Stilson on, I feel like this is not necessarily the appropriate venue to work out the details, and that this would benefit from maybe tabling it for a month. For example, and I'm not saying the applicant isn't an honest individual, but we allow 3 days, and applicant decides to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have a hard time believing somebody from the city is out there monitoring and saw that he already used up his 3 days, and now he can't do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just details like that I feel like are not very fleshed out, and that it would be better for those to be fleshed out not in this particular setting. So for me, I think it's probably going to be a no on the vote.
From my standpoint, I feel like we flushed out the issues enough to move forward on this with a 1-year timeframe on it. That's my gut feel on this. Any other questions? Okay, then I will take a motion on Appeal 22-27 with the conditions that we had outlined.
Make a motion that we approve motion 22-27.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Yes. Larry Stillson,
No.
Mike Portelease,
Yes?
Chris Torty,
Yes,
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dendu.
No.
and that passes 3-2. Thank you all. That brings us to Appeal 22-28. It is a virtual person that's presenting this, but it is appeal submitted by IRC Princess City Plaza LLC, a Delaware limited liability company requesting a developmental variance at 4430 Grape Road to allow an increase of building height from 35 feet to 45 feet for a tenant facade improvement. Somebody is virtual and they're going to be presenting this. Hello, is somebody there? If
Yes,
you're-
hi, this is Patrick Fox. Can you hear me?
Yes, Patrick.
All right. This is Patrick Fox with Fox Design Group. We are the architect for Dick's Sporting Goods, representing them tonight.
Could I have your
We're
address,
located in
please?
Cleveland, Ohio,
Okay, thank you. Address,
at
please.
33730 Bainbridge Road, Solon, Ohio.
Great. Tell us about your appeal, sir.
So what we are requesting is Dick's Sporting Goods is looking to relocate within the existing shopping center. We're a couple doors down right now. We'd be moving over to the west, closest to Kohl's, right on the left there. And it's a former Gordman's store. And we'd be demolishing the existing storefront that's there. And we're looking to increase the height that is restricted at 35 feet up to 45 feet. So as you can see from the existing shopping center, the store that's there, the height is close to the top of the parapet. The sign is squatted down. They're looking to match their existing brand standards that they have throughout other commercial properties throughout the country, and looking to get more of that brand awareness and presence.
Thank you.
So we'd be matching the similar materials throughout the center, same brick, same ephes as throughout, so same color scheme, same materials, just display windows, the glass, and then the increased height is really what we're getting the variance for.
Great. Thank you. Is there questions for Mr. Fox? Any questions? Going once?
Do we know how this compares to the signs that are already in other businesses in that strip?
The other signs are at 35 feet that we are aware of.
So you're looking to go 10 feet beyond what's existing?
Correct, yes.
Okay, any other questions? Clarifications? Mr. Portelease?
No, that's good, thank you.
No? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fox. Is there anybody else wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-28? Is there anyone in the chamber room or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-28? Hearing none, close the public hearing. Any discussions, additional information?
No additional information.
Nope. Then I will take a motion on Appeal 22-28.
I move for approval of 22-28.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stillson,
Yes.
Michael Porterly,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dendu.
Yes.
And Appeal 22-28 passes unanimously. Brings us to the last item on the agenda, Appeal 22-29, appeal submitted by Princess City Properties LLC, requesting approval of a use variance 702 South Logan Street to allow retail sales in I-2 Heavy Industrial District. Hello.
Hi there, I'm Brian Wynum with Princess City Properties, 1820 South Bend Avenue in South Bend. And we own the building on the screen now, and the front is set up very nicely for retail sales, as originally it was just for, I believe, fireworks at the time it was constructed. We are looking only to do the front part and the 1,800 square foot part behind it as retail, not the entire structure. This will match, I believe, discussed with the city, the matches for the parking spaces that we need. And we do have C1 to the east, west, and catty corner from us. And this would allow us to allow a company to possibly open up a retail center inside that facility.
Great. Thank you. Questions for Mr. Wynum?
So you don't have a tenant as of right now?
Not a retail tenant, right?
Right.
Any others? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the council chambers or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-29? Hearing none, is there anybody wishing to speak against Appeal 22-29? Come on up.
Hello, my name's Eric Mydell. I'm 614 South Logan, across the street from the property. I came in just mostly curious to see what kind of retail it was going to be in there. I was so happy when the liquor store closed around that area because it really cleaned up the neighborhood, and I was hoping it wouldn't be a liquor store, but I have no idea what it's going to be at this point. You know, because like the school's a block away, LaSalle School, and plus they got a smoke shop there already. You know, I just don't think that's appropriate for the kids that are walking by there. And that corner gets busy that way. The other thing I'm just interested, I mean, I'm happy for any business to be in there. I like to have business there. But they have like a no trucks signs right there on the property for A Street. You can't drive trucks on A Street, which they do constantly, because that's a industrial park behind it, and the trucks are supposed to come out on 11th Street and go down Logan and back. You know, that's their route. And I've talked to the police station about it and stuff, and they say, well, their GPS is wrong, and they get messed up, so they just blow it off. Because even the crossing guard for the kids would be a policeman, and he'll help wave the trucks around to get them through the intersection. I just, you know, I'm curious as why, you know, with being a retailer, there's going to be more trucks coming in there, and they're going to need that 8th Street, I guess, to drive on. Just like 7-Eleven does across the street. No trucks are allowed on 8th Street, but there's always a truck going in the 7-Eleven or coming out of that area. And it's just, you know, that they already have supposed to be no trucks in that area,